Hello students, welcome to the lecture series of fluid mechanics. In last two lectures, we have already covered about concept about density, basic various definitions, dynamic and kinematic viscosity, Newton's law of viscosity, and basic examples related to Newton's law of viscosity and power, torque, and viscosity finding out examples. In this lecture, we will conclude surface tension, capillary effect, then Pascal's law, hydrostatic law, what do you mean by types of pressure, which are the types of pressure, and various examples based on it. So first of all, let us start with the surface tension. So here, what do you mean by surface tension? So see in this case, here is three bubbles, bubble A, bubble B, and bubble C. Three bubbles are there. So first of all, for the surface tension phenomena, what do you mean by surface tension? So surface tension is defined as the tensile force acting on the surface of the liquid when it is separated from the one medium to another medium. That means, see in this, suppose for bubble A, there is no another medium here, only liquid or around this. B, it will be in contact with liquid as well as air also, and same in bubble C. Both contact liquid and air also. So see in this, what do you mean by surface tension? So basically surface tension is basically tensile force acting on surface of the liquid when it is separated from another medium. So here one tensile force is acting, that is known as surface tension, because this bubble is separated from liquid to gases, right? So that is known as surface tension. It is generally denoted by sigma. The unit of surface tension is Newton per meter. We will derive unit later on, but remember this unit of surface tension will be Newton per meter. We have to find out surface tension equations for the three cases. First one is surface tension for the liquid droplets. Liquid droplets which is in the spherical form. So we have to find out surface tension for the spherical form. Then surface tension for the hollow bubble. For the hollow bubble, it is also in the spherical form. We can say hollow bubble as soap particle also. So we can write down here soap particle for case number 2, right? And for the third case, surface tension for the liquid jet. So liquid jet, remember this guys, liquid jet which is in the cylindrical form, and for liquid jet length is very much greater than its diameter, right? So let us derive equation for all three cases. So first of all, equation of surface tension for the liquid droplet. So as shown in this sketch, for liquid droplet, sketch is drawn. So here is the basic case of liquid droplet which is in the spherical form. If we take cross section vertically, right? If we take cross section vertically, then suppose this is half cross section, then surface tension is always acting on surface. So this is sketch of surface tension. See here at the circumference of this circle, surface tension forces are acting on the outer side. For balancing of surface tension, some forces might will be there. So that is pressure forces. But you have already known about it. Pressure is always applicable to the cross section area. Remember this. Surface tension is always applicable to the surface area, but pressure is always applicable to the cross section area. So at the end, surface tension force and pressure force, both the forces are in equilibrium. So we have to balance both the forces. So let us derive equation of surface tension for liquid droplet. So tensile force acting on the circumference of the droplet, that is known as surface tension sigma into circumference. So sigma and circumference of circle is pi into d. So this is equation 1. This force acting on tensile side. Second force for balancing it, pressure force on that area. So pressure force, that means pressure into cross section area of this circle, that means pi by 4 d square. At the end, surface tension and pressure force both are in equilibrium. So sigma into pi d is equal to P into pi by 4 d square, equation 1 and 2 comparison. So from this equation, P is equal to sigma into pi d divided by pi by 4 d square. So at last P is equal to 4 sigma by d. Remember this, P is equal to 4 sigma by d. Now if we want to derive unit of surface tension, so from this equation let us make equation of surface tension sigma. So sigma is equal to PD divided by 4. PD divided by 4. This is equation of surface tension. Now for pressure, unit is Newton per meter square, and for diameter unit is meter. So meter cancel. So basically for SI unit of surface tension we can consider Newton per meter. Clear? So this is first equation. Remember this final equation, guys. We have to balance only surface tension and pressure forces. So sigma and pressure forces. So sigma is applicable on circumference and pressure forces is applicable on cross section area. So final equation for liquid droplet is P is equal to 4 sigma by D. Clear? So next equation for surface tension for hollow bubble. Now consider liquid droplet as a single spherical and hollow bubble or soap particle. For hollow bubble, we have to consider thickness as very much less. So this is one and this is second. Suppose this is hollow bubble. So let me draw here. This is one circumference, and for hollow bubble thickness is very small, so this is second circumference. So here two surfaces are there for surface tension. So simply we have to multiply surface tension force by 2 because here two circumferences are there. So for the hollow bubble all other conditions remain same as spherical bubble. So sigma into pi d for liquid droplet, and we have to multiply surface tension by 2 because here there is two circumference is equal to opposite side pressure force remains same, pressure into pi by 4 d square. So for this case for hollow bubble pressure P is equal to 8 sigma by d. Clear? Now third case equation for surface tension in liquid jet. I have already mentioned about it. See in this sketch, for liquid jet, length of this jet is very much larger than diameter of this jet. Clear? So if we cut this jet by vertically, if we take vertical cross section, then what occurs? This is the surface, rectangular surface at which surface tension force occurs at circumference, and at cross sectional area pressure force occurs. So we have to balance surface tension and pressure forces. So first of all, force due to pressure. So pressure is always applicable to cross sectional area. So for this rectangular cross section area, so pressure into cross section area will be length into diameter, L into diameter. Clear? So pressure force will be pressure into length into diameter. Next one is surface tension force. Surface tension sigma into circumference of this cross section. Circumference will be 2 times length plus 2 times diameter. But here I repeat again, length is very much greater than diameter. So that is no effect of summation of diameter in this length. So we can neglect plus 2d here, right? We can neglect diameter from this summation. So here pressure force is here and surface tension force is here. We can balance both the forces. From this we can find out P is equal to 2 sigma by D. Remember, so there is three cases. In first case for liquid droplet, right, pressure is equal to 4 sigma by D. For hollow bubble, pressure is equal to 8 sigma by D. And for surface liquid jet, pressure P is equal to 2 sigma by D. Clear students? Right? So let us move on next concept. Okay, so this is very much important concept for your next topic. Cohesion and adhesion force. So student, what do you mean by cohesion and adhesion force? There is lots of difficulties for many students to understand cohesion and what do you mean by adhesion. So remember it, both are attractive forces. First remember this, both are attractive forces, but suppose these forces occurs on similar material or similar metals. Suppose these intermolecular forces occurs between molecules of same kind of material, that is known as cohesion, and suppose this intermolecular attraction occurs between different molecules, different material molecules, that is known as adhesion. So basically, let us take one example. Suppose if we have duster here, so duster, for duster there is lots of wooden material are there. So one wooden molecule and another wooden molecule have intermolecular attraction between them. That attraction is known as cohesion. And if we have one wooden plate here, if we apply Fevicol on that wooden plate, so molecule of Fevicol and molecule of wooden plate, it will attract each other. That different molecular attraction, that is known as adhesion. Remember, so for similar material, that is known as cohesion, and for different material, that is known as adhesion. Now, capillary. Capillary effect you have already studied in material science in semester 3 in NDT testes, surface penetrant testes. But what do you mean by capillary test, or what do you mean by capillary simple effect? So capillary is basically defined as phenomena for rise or fall of liquid in a small diameter tube. For example, in a thermometer, mercury and small diameter tube are there. So mercury rise and fall in the thermometer very easily. So that effect is known as capillary tube. So rise of the liquid, that is known as capillary rise, and fall of the liquid, that is known as capillary fall. So basically capillary can be measured in the terms of height, as a rise or as a fall. So SI unit of capillary is basically a meter. Clear? So let us move on next topic. Okay. Equation for capillary rise. Consider a simple glass tube in a water is filled with the capillary rise. So here is one glass tube. Here is what liquid, as a liquid water is filling. So water will be moving in upward direction with the effect of capillary rise. So here we can say this is the surface of capillary rise. So surface tension forces sigma will be acting on both sides. So sigma and sigma, right? This H will be a capillary rise value. This is known as surface tension. Sorry, capillary rise H, right? So we have to find out value or equation of this H. So let us understand various forces occurs in this capillary rise phenomenon. So sigma is in the this side. Here angle between sigma and glass tube is theta. So we can make vertical component of surface tension as sigma cos theta. Remember these guys, vertical component can be remembered as sigma cos theta. The liquid is moving upward side. So obviously weight is acting on downward side. So downward side, here we can write weight W. So here we have two forces. First one is sigma cos theta in vertical upward direction, and for balancing it, second force is W, means weight due to gravity in vertical downward side. So simply we have to balance upper sigma cos theta and vertical downward force W, right? So now weight of the liquid in downward direction. First we have to find weight. So you already know about it. Weight W is equal to mass into gravity G. So W is equal to M into G. For mass, we can write out mass is equal to rho into V. For rho density, V means volume. So mass is equal to rho into V. So rho V into G as it is. In third step, rho and G will be remain as it is, but for volume, we can write volume is equal to area into height. That's why rho into area of this glass tube. This is glass tube is circular in shape, so area will be pi by 4 d square. height will be h as you can see in this sketch, and g will be a gravitational force. So this is vertically downward force. We can write it as a equation number 1. For balancing it, vertical upward force of surface tension. So you can remember, you can say this surface tension is only applicable to circumference of this cube or circumference of this circle. So surface tension sigma cos theta into circumference of this cube pi into d. So this will remain equation number 2. For balancing equation 1 and 2, we can find h is equal to 4 sigma cos theta divided by rho g d. This is basically equation of capillary rise phenomenon. Dear students, so remember this. First you have to draw sketch, then you have to draw component vertically side sigma cos theta, then for balancing downward side W. You have to balancing surface tension force and W force. So you will get H is equal to 4 sigma cos theta divided by rho g d. In this equation, sigma is defined as surface tension, theta is angle between surface tension and glass tube, rho is density of fluid. For water, density is 1000 kg per meter cube. G is gravitational force. Generally, we can take 9.81 meter per second square. D means diameter of this glass tube. Clear? So this is equation of surface tension. Sorry, this is equation of capillary rise. Next one, equation of capillary fall. So method of capillary rise and capillary fall is similar, but balancing forces are different, right? For capillary fall, in water or any type of a milk or any type of a material, generally capillary rise forces will occur, but in specific material like mercury, capillary fall phenomenon will occur. So suppose if we take mercury in this bowl, so mercury level of mercury in this tube will be lower than the general level of the outside liquid. So capillary fall effect occurs in this sketch, right? So as shown in this sketch, outer layer of the mercury is here, but in the glass tube, inner layer of the mercury will be goes in the downward direction. So why this phenomena occurs? Because for mercury adhesion force is very much less. So mercury cannot stick to any surfaces. So mercury cannot stick to the glass surfaces. So mercury can move in downward direction. So here sigma component is in the downward side. Theta is here. So we can mention sigma cos theta in downward direction. Remember this is only change. Sigma cos theta is in the downward direction. So for balancing it, we have to draw one component of pressure in the vertical direction. So pressure will be acting on mercury like this. See this, pressure will be acting on mercury at upward direction, right, for balancing sigma cos theta. So sigma cos theta will be in downward direction, in pressure component will be in a upward direction. So first of all, as shown in figure, pressure force acting in upward direction. So pressure, basically pressure P, pressure force is equal to P into cross section area pi by 4 d square. Remember this student, pressure is always applicable on cross sectional area. So pressure into glass tube cross section area pi by 4 d square. For pressure, you can remember this equation. It is already covered in your 11th and 12th science. Pressure P is equal to rho GH into pi by 4 d square. This is vertically upward force. Mark it as a equation number 1. Then next one is downward force surface tension. So surface tension force acting in a downward direction is equal to sigma cos theta, that is component, and surface tension will be acting in on circumference only. So sigma cos theta into circumference pi into d. That means first and 2. If we balance both equation in equilibrium, then we can get H is equal to 4 sigma cos theta divided by rho g d. So can you notice guys, equation for capillary rise and capillary fall, both equation are same and both notation are same. For mercury generally theta will be taken as 128 degree. Clear? But remember this, for capillary rise we have to balance vertically upward direction sigma cos theta and downward direction weight. For capillary fall, we have to balance downward direction sigma cos theta and upward direction pressure force. Clear?